In this video tutorial, we'll show you how to properly use the RT-45 saw. Anyone planning to dig, excavate, or otherwise move earth deeper than 16 inches is required by Texas law to call 811 before beginning a project to have underground utilities marked. Rocky Hill Equipment recommends calling 811 prior to any project that involves digging with our equipment regardless of depth. To begin, this is a demonstration of a properly operated RT-45 in action. This machine is designed to always drive forward while cutting and never backward. The backfill blade is at the front of the machine and the circular cutting blade is at the rear. On the circular blade, there are different components that serve their own purpose. You have segments, segment bolts, pockets, and rock bits. Rock bits are what contact the rock material, break it into smaller pieces, thus making your trench. Let's go through operator control layout. Once you are seated on the RT-45, you'll see 4 different control handles to your right and 2 control handles to your left. Let's begin with the right side. This black handle controls the backfill blade in the front. With this handle, you can lift, drop, and turn left to right. Keep in mind that the backfill blade needs to be up all the way when transporting or cutting. Next, you'll see an orange handle nearest to you. This activates the creeper on machine. This is only to be used while trenching. You will use this once the machine has hit the depth desired and need the machine to advance forward. Circular cutting blade can be lowered or raised with the green handle. To our left side, we have the parking brake in the orange handle. The second handle controls the cutting blade in the rear, allowing it to spin. This handle needs to be pushed forward in order for the wheel to spin the correct way, and you want to push it all the way forward as well. Now focusing on the dashboard. On the screen, you'll have fuel gauge, temperature gauge, and RPM gauge. If we can focus on the top of the screen, you should have 3 icons on before being able to start the machine. Operator properly seated, creeper handle in neutral, and finally, cutting blade handle in neutral. If one of these 3 icons are not visible on your screen, that means it's not a neutral and the machine will not start. By your right foot, there is a toe to heel pedal. This pedal will allow you to move or adjust the machine forward and reverse. This pedal is to be used during transportation and adjusting only. Inspect the rock bits on the cutting blade to make sure there are no broken, missing, or loose bits on the blade segments. We always recommend to check your rock bits before, during, and after every use. Look to make sure all my handles are in neutral and start the machine. We will now adjust the rock saw to begin cutting our trench. Once adjusted, we're going to push the cutting blade handle all the way forward. Next, we will push the throttle handle, the small orange one, near the rear of the machine all the way forward, allowing our RPMs to reach max capacity. Once we have those steps completed, we will start to lower our cutting blade slowly until we hit the ground. At this point, we will gradually drop the blade a few inches at a time. We don't want to push all the way down, causing the machine to stall. Lowering the blade slowly is actually the fastest way to begin your trench. Once you get the depth desired, the next step will be to push the creeper handle, the orange one, forward slightly. At this point, you will feel the machine advance slowly. While using this machine, we suggest picking up the blade every 5 feet for the first 20 feet, and have a spotter get a good visual on rock bits, pockets, and segments. After your first 20 feet, you can pick up the blade every 10 or 15 feet, depending on how comfortable you feel with the material you are cutting through. The purpose for this is to prevent major damages from occurring. When too many rock bits go missing, you start to damage or break pockets. For this step, place the creeper in neutral, keeping the blade and RPMs at full throttle. Begin to pick up the blade. Once the blade is up in the air, you can begin to slow the throttle down. See orange near the rear. Next, begin to pull the cutting blade, yellow handle, slowly back into neutral. Now your spotter can get a good visual of rock bits, pockets, segments, and segment bolts for any damage. If everything checks out okay, continue cutting. Remember to inspect the cutting blade at least every 15 feet from now on. When finished digging, again, put the creeper in neutral. Lift the blade, slow the throttle, and put the cutting blade into neutral and turn off the machine. When you are finished installing your components into your trench, the RT-45 can also backfill the material to complete the job. This is done with the backfill blade at the front of the machine. You will not be engaging the cutting blade for this operation. Throttle up the machine and use the creeper handle to advance the machine to the desired location. On the right hand side, the lower handle is used to control the depth and angle of the backfill blade. Position the blade close to final grade level and at a 45-degree angle facing the blade to the trench. This will force the tailings back into the trench as you creep forward. This machine is not a bulldozer. Only push as much of the tailings as you safely can and as many passes as it takes to fill your trench. Let's talk about safety. Always wear the safety seat belt, as being thrown from the machine in the event of an accident could cause more severe injury than being locked in place under the roll cage. Be aware of the terrain, obstacles, overhead hazards, and other workers near your trenching path. Do not lose focus, as trenching can be slow and monotonous, but accidents can happen at any time. Always learn as much as you can about the equipment you've rented and its proper operation to complete your job. If you'll be renting equipment for multiple days, please remove the keys from the equipment and store in a safe location on your job site. Please return the equipment in the condition it was rented to you, clean and full of fuel. If you have any concerns or issues with the equipment, please give us a call at 210-651-5611 and let us solve those issues for you. Because at Rocky Hill Equipment Rental, we are committed to service.